Hey everyone, Amia here from Resonance Astrology. Welcome back to my channel. We're back this week with the weekly overview from March 31st till April 6th, 2025. So we're entering the month of April, a new month, a new start, and we're coming off this super intense week. I'm just wondering, how has this week been for you guys? Because for me, I feel like half of the week was a blur, especially the beginning where the Pisces energy was in the focus and the moon was also in Pisces. And then I feel like with Neptune ingressing into the sign of Aries made me have so many realizations about what Neptune in Pisces has been all about for the last 14 years in my fifth house. And I just almost felt a bit, not stupid, but just I was looking back and making connections I haven't made before, really questioning how did I not see this clearly. And I know this is so normal with Neptune, so I'm really wondering how you guys have been feeling, because Neptune has been traveling through our Pisces houses, right? Which in all of our charts is probably a different place. Unless you're a Scorpio rising like me, it has been traveling in a different house. But now I'm like looking back and I'm seeing these obvious things where I'm like, how did I not get that? Like, how did I not realize that was Neptune before? For example, in 2012 is when my parents separated, and it kind of started in 2011, which is when Neptune made its first dip into the sign of Pisces. And then it wasn't really until 2012 until Neptune fully moved into the sign of Pisces. And this is when my parents split up. And it really changed my whole view on romantic relationships and just romance in general, and what relationships are meant for, why we should indulge in relationships. And I was 13 getting 14 at that time, or 14 turning 15 at that time. In any case, but it really changed the way that I viewed love and everything. And I was newly entering the dating scene as a teenager, and it really distorted my vision in a very negative way, which really shaped the foundation of my dating experiences, which was so Neptune and Pisces moving through my fifth house. And I'm just it's so, how did I not make the connection before that, this event that happened in 2012, which I analyzed so many times, I didn't make the connection that it had kind of something to do with Neptune as well. And I was a teenager, so I know that a lot of things are also normal for just being a teenager, but I'm just kind of mind blown that I didn't realize that before, which again is so Neptunian. Neptune puts this veil on us and we can't fully see things clearly. It's usually in the beginning, there is a disillusionment, and then we just kind of get used to this Neptune in Pisces or whatever sign Neptune is traveling through energy, and then it kind of gets blurry. Over time we get so used to it, and now Neptune has been in Pisces for 14 years, so we got so used to this energy, and now it's just entered Aries literally yesterday. So now it's the veil has been lifted again, and we're getting some sort of disillusionment or new grasp on, first of all, seeing our Pisces house much more clearly, and then probably also really rethinking the Aries house in our charts. So I'm really wondering, how has this been feeling for you guys? Because I've been having a lot of realizations and making connections I did not make before. I feel like I could almost make an entire segment, but I might also make an Instagram post about this. I'm not sure, but there's lots of things. For example, also me starting to experiment with drugs during that time. Again, also kind of normal teenage behavior to want to experiment with things, but it was just the way that I started to view fun, which is so fifth house, really changed. And I had a very hard time, especially with also my more responsible side, and wanting, or I had this very distorted idea of fun, because I came into a group of people that I usually didn't fully hang out with, and it wasn't immediately, that was a bit later on. That was around 2015 actually. And it was when I got into my first more serious relationship. And he was part of this like psytrance community essentially, and this also then made me go to psytrance parties all the time, almost every weekend. And the first time seeing people, you know, really getting high and using drugs and all of these things, and it like really distorted my view of fun or what it means to have fun. And I thought this is the way I should be having fun. And then when I was not having fun this way, or when, because I'm a very sensitive person, so I had a lot of bad times with taking or experimenting with using drugs. So, and I really had this image, which is so Piscean. I had this image in my head about how I thought I should be having fun, and it just didn't align. And I really wanted to, for some reason, be that person. I don't know why, like, don't ask me why, but I just wanted to be that person that like can go out on weekends and do drugs and just like not give a you know. So so I don't know. And this basically really, it was like such a weird distorted view, and I never connected it to Neptune, and now I see it so clearly, which is mind-blowing to me, how I did not make the connection until now. So again, tell me what you have been noticing. I'm super curious what you guys have been noticing, because for me it's a whole new experience. And this is kind of, this week now that we are looking at is much more milder. And I really like that, because I feel like last week was just very intense, and I feel like we need a bit of chilling out, especially in the beginning of the week. There's not really a lot going on. And this week transits are mostly one conjunction, actually two conjunctions, and mostly like sextiles and trines. So there's a bigger emphasis on the sextile aspect has to do with Venus, is of the nature of Venus, and the trine aspect is of the nature of Jupiter. So the focus is more on like expanding and connecting essentially, which I think we really need, because this last week kind of really shook us up. And yeah, I also got a new haircut, by the way, just in case you didn't notice, or you probably did notice, or something is maybe different with my hair. I got a new haircut on Venus Day last Friday, you know, and it turned out well. So who says you can't get any haircuts during Venus retrograde and it not turn out well? It turned out absolutely well. So yeah, anyhow, let's get more into this week. Otherwise, I will be talking for 10 hours straight about my Neptune realizations. And again, so on Monday, nothing really significant is happening. Tuesday, we have Venus in retrograde conjunct North Node in Pisces. Wednesday, Thursday, we also don't have anything significant happening. And then on Friday, we also have Mercury in retrograde motion conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. And so this is kind of really taking us back, which is weird and confusing. It doesn't really help I feel like this week will be a weird week, because we're still in this threshold between having new realization and charging forward, and still being in this more confusionistic, is that a word? I'm not sure. Mercury's in Pisces, so I'm allowed to make up words. But in this confusionistic realm, essentially, between both of these signs. And we already had this, so it's nothing new, essentially. It's more confusing because we're like going back and forth. We just had Neptune move into Aries. The sun is in Aries, so there is like this energy of wanting to charge forward and like being bold and action-oriented and assertive. But then Mercury is back in Pisces, Venus is back in Pisces. They're both conjoining the North Node. So this is more inwardly focused, you know, being more reflective, meditating more, connecting more with your dreams and your intuitive sides, getting more intuitive downloads. So it's really this back and forth. And I think the best we can do with this energy is make time for both. It doesn't have to be an either or. We can make, and we are allowed to take time for both. So how about tuning in every day, sitting down, maybe meditating a bit, writing down your dreams when you wake up if you think they are important, or just writing down your spiritual downloads, and then making an action plan and starting to take actions. Like, you're allowed to get spiritual downloads and to also take actions. Like, you can do both. It's allowed. So it's really this a bit of a discrepancy between the more flowy and imaginative nature of Pisces and the more assertive and bold nature of Aries. But I think we really can make the best out of this energy by slowing down, reflective, and getting curious, and then at the same time being courageous and stepping up and also taking action, like taking action steps. You don't have to go all out, okay? I think this week is important to note. Don't go all out. You don't have to go all out. You can if you want to, but you can still be gentle, okay? Because the energy will be much different when especially Mars moves into Leo, also in April. Not this week, but slowly Mars is moving into the sign of Leo. And this will also amp up our inner fire and spark much more. So don't fret. Like, this week is still for more chill action, okay? And then what we also have on Friday, it's really most of the transits are happening like by Friday and during the weekend. And what we also have on Friday is Saturn in Pisces, sextile Uranus and Taurus. I really like that. And it's interesting because Saturn represents structure, discipline, and responsibility. And Uranus represents sudden, unexpected change, innovation, and rebellion. So Saturn and Uranus are very opposing energies per se. And this is why when they come together in some sort of aspectual relationship or nature, they can often bring tension, which is what we really saw a lot in 2021 when we had Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus has been in Taurus for a while, but they were forming a square, and that brought a lot of tension, especially a lot of like social unrest as well. But this sextile aspect kind of invites us to undergo a practical yet innovative change. So you might find it easier to lean into the path of least resistance. And I think this is very good because with Aries, the downside of Aries is often that Aries unnecessarily makes things harder than they have to be. And so I also think this is a good blend between both of those energies. And I really, really love Saturn and Pisces sextiling Uranus. It's a more slower moving transit because both Saturn and Uranus are more slower moving. So I think we're really reaping the benefits this week of this transit, even though there might be a bit of tension, but at its best, seriously, it's giving us like proactive and innovative changes that we can like apply, actually have a good plan to apply. And yeah, it encourages us also to, spiritual growth, also something that's always associated with these two, and creative breakthroughs that are grounded in real world application, which I think is we really need now that we moved outside the Neptunian realm of Pisces. We really need grounded and real world application. Like, it's not enough anymore. It's not enough to just think and want to do good things. Go out and do good things. And this will be just this gradual shift that has started off and now it's slowly picking up speed. And then on Saturday we have Mars in Cancer sextiling Uranus as well. Love that. And trining Saturn in Pisces, obviously, because they're super close. So if Saturn just sextiled Uranus, it makes sense that Mars will also sextile Uranus and then also trine Saturn. And we also have the first quarter moon in Cancer. So Saturday, a very good, practically perfect day to resolve some sort of emotional turmoil that has been plaguing you pretty much since the whole Mars retrograde story. Because Mars sextile Uranus, yet again, asks us to take an innovative approach in what action we want to take, especially when it comes to emotional matters, which will help to have sudden and meaningful breakthroughs that we're building up. Because Saturn and Mars have already formed a trine on September 30th, 2024. So whatever kind of happened around end of September, okay? It's literally end of September, September 30th, 2024. Look back at what was going on in your life during that time, because there was probably some sort of tension, especially some sort of emotional tension, because Saturn and Mars together often have this push and pull dynamic of one wants to hit the gas, brake, and one wants to hit the other one, which gas brake and the other, oh my gosh, I don't know the name. Sorry, I feel stupid. I don't know, but you know what? One wants to hit the brakes and one wants to hit the speed, I guess. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't know the words because, again, I have too many languages in my head. But anyhow, so especially in this more like emotional realm, or when it comes to memories, okay, water signs are not just about emotions, they're also about the realm of memories and everything that gets, like the emotional experiences that get stored in our body. That's also why the moon rules over the body, okay? And what do we also have on Saturday? We have the first quarter moon in Cancer, which means this is a more action-oriented moon, coming off from the new moon that was a partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. So it's really action-oriented, okay? And so I feel like Saturday is like just this perfect day to get things moving. But just let's briefly go back, okay? We had the first trine of Mars and Saturn on September 30th, 2024, and then they formed the second trine on February 9th, 2025. And this Saturday, we are getting the last trine. So it's like this final chapter arc of everything that started around end of September 2024. Exactly. And on April 4th, this is the final trine. So this is really consolidating an emotional process. It almost feels like this emotional release we're getting. We can finally get over something that has been plaguing us, that we didn't really have any sort of resolution with. And with the Uranus sextile here as well, I feel like it's really... I think we're going to be surprised at what the resolution will be. It might be something completely unexpected, and yeah, like the emotional issues we have been going back and forth with, now it's like, bam, suddenly we have a new solution. And I really like that. And again, first quarter moon is action oriented, especially when it comes to emotional matters. And then we are going to Sunday, where the sun in Aries is sextile Jupiter in Gemini, and Mars in Cancer trines Venus retrograde in Pisces. Again, okay, not again, sorry, there is no again, but I mean, there is again in Mars and Venus coming back together. But let's first look at Sun in Aries with Jupiter in Gemini. Is a very energetic and expansive energy that combines drive for action with curiosity. And I love this because I think it really encourages us to be smartly courageous, like with a bit of wit. And we love that, okay? Because we can do things in a more fun way. And I think Jupiter is really also nudging the sun in Aries to be more, again, first of all, more smart in the actions that we want to take. And then also forget, like, because as I said before, sometimes Aries has this energy of making things harder than they need to be. And the playful Gemini energy can really come in and be like, but we can do it in a fun way. We can do it in a playful way. We can do it like it's a dance, you know? Playing off that quote that Ram Dass said. That's the name I was searching for. So Sun and Jupiter together encourage optimism, enthusiasm, and taking bold steps to reach our goals. And Jupiter in Gemini is more calculated, but now Jupiter is in mutual reception with Mercury in Pisces again, which is good. I think it's like a good balance, essentially, because we might get... Okay, the thing is, one day afterwards, Mercury stations direct again. So I feel like the way they are coming together, like the Sun in Aries sextile Jupiter in Gemini, is actually a very good moment for clarity when it comes to mercurial matters or everything that we have been undergoing during this Mercury retrograde process. I think it's such a good way to end this on. And so I think we will actually get some much needed clarity by the end of this week. And again, we get this boost of positive encouragement for our dreams and aspirations and how to go after them in a smart and more calculated way. So I think every one of us will get much more clarity by the end of this week. And I love that for us. Okay, and now finally, Venus and Mars coming back together. The lovers are connecting in this watery trine. So Venus is also regaining more and more strength and is currently in an exalted position. So it almost feels like it's a crutch to Mars. Mars that is still in Cancer, goddamn. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, but Mars has also been doing so many good things as well. I think they are really helping each other out with this trine. I think it's such a good aspect for them to come together right now. And this is a very good time to have some reconciliation in relationships, especially if there were some hurts, or misunderstandings during March with Venus. It's connected to the Venus retrograde cycle and also Mercury retrograde cycle. So if there has been some misunderstandings, this could be a really good time for healing these hurts or misunderstandings between people. And also maybe a creative, finding a new creative way to maybe express yourself, or find another solution on how you can express yourself, how you can apologize, or how you want to ask for your needs in a different way so you can actually make progress. Or it can also be revisiting past emotional experiences to gain deeper clarity. Again, Venus is still in retrograde motion, so it's not the final blow yet. Because they will also form a trine again eventually when Venus stations direct again. So it's really, essentially, it's, I think the full clarity will be gained when they meet for a final time. But yeah, so I think it should be a great moment to reflect, heal and act in ways that nurture our hearts or the hearts around us. And also a great time to be kind and loving to obviously the people around us, but we also have to be kind to ourselves, okay? We have to fill our own cup first, because once our cup is filled, it's so much easier to pour to other people from a genuine place. And this is so much more beautiful, so much more nurturing for you and for other people, because otherwise, it's so easy for this secret resentment to build up, and we don't want that to happen. We want to give from a genuine place. So, amazing time. Also amazing time to get back into your body, and just because when we want to heal emotional experiences, we need to find ways to feel them in our bodies. But this is often hard. Or not that easy as it seems. We might have our ways, but it's like, how do we fully heal something that is still going on in our body? And for that, we need skills to actually be able to be in our bodies, which at the beginning, especially if you're coming from a place of a lot of trauma, can be super scary. And you might actually even need somebody that helps you with this process, because going inside your body when there's so much turmoil can actually potentially be very re-triggering. But if you're already further on your journey and you feel okay to do more awareness-oriented practices, where it feels comfortable to be a bit more in your body. But even then, I still work with a body therapist too. So it's so good to be able to have someone you feel safe enough to feel your emotions with, and then actually have good skills. Because for me, talk therapy was okay in the beginning, but eventually it just started to not do anything. Actually, I think it even made things worse. So I really needed skills on what happens when I actually talk, because sometimes talking made me more dysregulated. And when you go into talk-based therapy, it's so easy to just walk out and feel worse, and we don't want that. So I really needed to find a body therapist that there's less talking, more just being and feeling. And I can so just highly recommend this to anyone that is struggling with this. And what I also think Sunday is very good for. But just being in your body and finding skills where you can express your emotions, and you need to be able to feel safe enough to feel the sensations that are in your body, because this is how you build up the capacity to actually feel your emotions. And at the same time, when you build up the capacity to feel and go through these heavy feelings, you simultaneously build the capacity to hold more pleasure, which can be super overwhelming at the same time. But this is where we are slowly heading. I think Mars retrograde cycle has been really making us face a lot of the heavy emotions, and Jupiter moving into Cancer will be triggering in the different way where it's going to be hard to actually be open and receive the good things that want to come into our life. I know it's like not happening yet, but I'm just thinking how there's so many things that I associate with growing pains, okay? Growing, receiving more pleasure, feeling worthy to receive more pleasure in your life is equally as difficult and scary as it is in the beginning to feel your hurts and bad emotions or uncomfortable emotions. And I just think it's so linked to this Mars retrograde cycle in Cancer and then Jupiter this year moving into the sign of Cancer. It will be very, very interesting what happens in all of our charts, especially to the Cancer houses, because it's almost like we have been undergoing this process in our Cancer houses of having a hard time, not having a hard time, but just basically getting thrown into kind of dealing with these more heavy emotions. And now when Mars moves outside of Cancer, a bit later, Jupiter moves into Cancer. And now it's like, whoa, all of a sudden, everything that was so hard, now I need to learn skills to actually receive. And it can be so easy. And it being so easy can actually be the hard part. But anyhow, we will get to this once Jupiter moves into the sign of Cancer. I'll obviously do a video much more in depth about this. But yeah, this is what I have for this week for you guys. Let me know how you have been feeling, doing, all of that. I'm interested in everything. Make sure to leave a like. It helps out more than you know. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want more weekly updates, spiritual stories, just other fun videos. This week, we are announcing our new workshop. Me and Duna are doing a new workshop. And it's about decans, the decans of the zodiac sign. It's the 10-degree increments of the zodiac signs. And video coming up, I think tomorrow actually. So this is super exciting. And I'm doing lots of movements with my hands because I'm a moon in Gemini. And this, yeah, anyhow. I guess I'm getting more comfortable on camera, which is good. I'm showing my more not crazy side, just my, I don't know, just my more chattery side. Anyhow, I'll have to stop this because otherwise I just keep on talking and blabbing and not being able to stop. So yeah, this is what I have for you this week. Links are down below. My social medias are down below. And this is what I have for you this week. Much love. See you guys sometime soon. Bye. Mwah.